Hi and welcome to this week's Frid-AI with me, Billy McLaughlin, where I cut through the fuss and get to the facts on all the news on artificial intelligence and what it means for our industry as accountants, bookkeepers and finance professionals. It's not been the best week for tech, especially given that it's only 2 months since the AWS CEO bragged that 75% of its code is written by AI. Not really instilling the confidence we all need right now. However, there's been some huge announcements, including one that I've got at the very end. So if you want to use artificial intelligence properly, you're really interested in how it can impact you, and you want to learn a bit more, stick around for that big announcement. I'm very excited. Anyway, let's dive in. We are starting off with some news from the UK government, who has created a group called the Sterling 20. Now, this is a group of pension funds, and the idea is to get them to invest in a more coordinated way, getting them to invest in a similar sort of project. And with that in mind, the reason why it's important here is artificial intelligence has been identified as one of them. So this means that AI startups, data infrastructure and tech projects are going to see that inflow of data from pension funds. And more importantly, what we need to remember is that pension funds usually invest quite conservatively, but now AI is being seen as a bit more of a safer bet rather than this risky thing that people are trying to avoid. So always good to know what's going on in the big bad world, because it's creating that aspect of safety around AI and giving people that confidence that it's a very good place to invest your money. Next up is a topic that is on all accountants and bookkeepers' lips, which is recruitment. There has been a new AI recruitment business that has been set up called Jack and Jill. Now, this is London-based, which is so exciting. I love to see the UK being the pioneer for things, especially around artificial intelligence. And the idea is that Jack will help with the job seekers and kind of do that pre-interview work, and Jill will help with the employers. Now, if you have put recruitment as something that you've been doing as a priority recently, you'll realize that you're getting tons of bot applications, people that are just not right for the job, and this is going to kind of eradicate that. I was thinking about this, and on reflection, the likes of Indeed being the way that we apply for jobs, it hasn't really changed since the inception of the internet. So this is trying to remodel and redefine that, which, yeah, I think it's a really great thing. So for accountants, hopefully, we're going to see recruitment become easier in the future. And also, it just kind of sends that signal that old school admin style businesses are getting that revamp. And I definitely think accountants and bookkeepers are in that camp as well. Next up for all you Google users is that Google Gemini can now link your Gmail with your calendar, so it can help you schedule appointments. So when you come to write an email in Gmail, it will tell you at the bottom a little note that says help me schedule, and you can send availability to your clients. I know what you're thinking, you use Calendly or something similar and it all does the same thing. The difference here, and the bragging rights that Google Gemini have, is that it actually has a bit of context. So if your clients emailed you and said, hey, have you got half an hour next Tuesday? It will only send them slots that are half an hour long and on that Tuesday, so it can understand the email thread. I think this is great, and it gives you a kind of insight into how these AI admin assistants are going to work. But how many times do you get an email from a client that's like, hey, you got 2 minutes? And I can already see in my head, your Gmail assistant is going to send them a 2-minute slot. Your client's going to think you're taking the mick and probably get the hump. So it's a good idea in theory. If you are going to use it, just be wary. It might take things a little bit too literally. Speaking of Google, I'm afraid they've had one hell of a nail put in their coffin this week when OpenAI announced GPT Atlas on Tuesday evening. This is only available to Mac users at the moment, but it will be opening out to Android and also Microsoft at some point soon, according to Sam Altman. If you aren't sure what this is, check out my video from earlier on in the week. I'll put it in the comments. But essentially, this is GPT's own browser. So it's got ChatGPT built in. You can ask it questions when you're on certain pages, and it can pull information from different areas, different tabs, and pull it into where you need it to. No need to copy and paste and flick between tabs. All very exciting. However, how often are we logged into multiple client Xero accounts or Sage or QuickBooks, potentially their bank accounts? Even if we turn the memory off, we have to be really mindful of what OpenAI and ChatGPT are doing with this. It does feel a little bit like the Trojan horse to try and gobble up all of our data. Google have spent decades collecting it, and because of the speed AI can work at, OpenAI is just going to be able to land grab so much of it so quickly. That's all well and good if you're happy for it to have it. If you're not, please be mindful. I would say give it a go, download it, try it out, but maybe try it with non-sensitive data. So maybe if you're creating a slide deck and you've got multiple sources of legislation you want to pull it into it, absolutely great. But anything else, let's just test the water a little bit first. With that in mind, if you have tried it, please drop me a message because I love to hear people's use cases and see how they found it. Next up, software specific to our industry, and I'm going to talk about two of my favourite products being FYI and Vinyl, who have a fantastic integration, which means that when you go into your clients on FYI, you're going to have the meeting notes sent directly to it, and then with one click, it will send you back to Vinyl. You can listen to the recording or read the transcripts, whatever you need to do. This is really exciting. It was announced a couple of weeks ago, but I couldn't not mention it because Vinyl as an AI note taker are really, really making waves. I talk about them a lot because they're doing great things. So as of from next month in November, you can join the waiting list now. They are going to be launching an app. The reason why I'm excited about this is because I get asked all the time about AI note takers in face-to-face meetings. A lot of people love them for online, but there just seems to be this disconnect. So if we've got one that can do online and in person, and also link to our practice management solutions, it is definitely a win-win. So do join the waiting list. I'll pop it in the comments for you to do so. And finally, although I don't normally like future gazing, Apron have announced that they are going to be releasing an AI bookkeeping assistant, and this is going to be from December. I think that'll be for the beta and they'll be launched early in next year. But it's always good to know this because if you are looking at these systems, you need to know what's coming. You need to know if your product is offering this. If not, do you need to switch? And also if that's something you want to do. So they've said that this is going to be matching up kind of the bookkeeping with the payment process, which I think is really valuable. We're going to be seeing automated chases for information that's missing and documents that are missing. We're also going to see transactions being put into the systems and auto reconciling from them. So do check that out. And finally, the super exciting news is that I'm going to be joining Dan Boyle's launching the UK's first AI only community for accountants, bookkeepers and finance professionals. So please do check out Hello AI. I will pop it in the comments. We probably could have picked a name that doesn't sound as bad in a Hull accent, but it's hello as in hello. So please do check out Hello AI. The idea here is that we want to provide really, really practical advice and tips. None of the fluff. It's going to be hard-hitting actions, things you need to know, things that you can actually do, proper use cases, tools that actually work, and information that, to be honest, you need to know if you want to be ahead. So please check out the Hello AI community. I will release more information in the coming weeks, but we are doing a webinar early in November. I will pop the details in the description below. Please check it out on the 3rd of November and I will see you then. Have a great weekend, everybody, and I'll see you next Friday.